Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingwithME.com and Me Crafty Scrapper here on YouTube and Instagram. I have a beautiful kit in front of me today. This is the August E-Club kit from ScrapbookingwithME.com, and I think we have just a few a la cartes left of these, so you need to hurry on over to ScrapbookingwithME.com if you like what you see. You get 2 cardstocks. They are 8.5 by 11. It's a brown and a I don't know. It's like a seafoamy green. It's very pretty. And then some ledger papers. And these are copies of an old ledger that we were gifted. And we were told, make all the copies you want. So they are in this kit as digitals. And then we have some buttons. Oh my word. Buttons, wood buttons. Oh, gracious me. And then some of them are in the shape of butterflies. There's some small ones and some big ones. My word. And then you get 2 burlap flowers. Now, my kit was a leftover, so I didn't get a full kit. I saved all the full kits for you guys. They are boxed up. And then, so we ran out of the bigger layered rolled burlap and lace flowers. So I just got some that we had around the shop to put in my kit just to show you. The ones that you guys get, most everybody got, was the really big roll puffy ones that you can unroll and use them as trim on journals. They're very pretty. And then you get a sheet of washi stickers, or this is actually washi strip. So it's like washi tape, but it's just in strip form instead of a roll. And then these beautiful vellum stickers, and they're like, you know, kind of Victorian-y-ish. Beautiful little vellum washi type stickers, and they have an acetate back, so you just kind of peel them off, and those are very popular right now. Lots and lots of art journalers use those in their layouts. And then we have these little faux stamp little stickers. I think you got 11 of each one of those. And then you got a little sheet of bling, one of my favorite things that comes in a kit. Even though I am a junk journaler at heart right now, I love bling. The Craft Consortium. Oh, I can't even read. That is the manufacturer that makes this paper pad. It is a 6x6 paper pad. Craft Paper Vintage Emporium is the name of the collection. So it has lots. Look at how many papers you get. And it has some ledger, some postmark, more ledger, maps, grid, more maps, and then some worn, looks like patina paper, more map. And I think you get 4 sheets of each one of these designs. Yes, 4 sheets of each. So you got book page, postcards, old vintage letters, and then more letters, envelopes, and then some vintage print ads. And then that is a beautiful, like, splattered coffee dyed cardstock. And then look at this. This is going to be beautiful as cut aparts. I mean, just cut these little pieces apart and put them in your ephemera journals and save them to add to your junk journals. That is just beautiful. I love that. Which, you know, cut aparts have my heart anyway. So, some gorgeous distressed cardstock look, and then some old postage stamps. So that's kind of where we got the idea to give you postage stamp like ephemera with this kit. And then you get a solid, it's kind of like an espresso color. It matches my nails very well. And then on the other side is some vintage folks in some pictures. And they're not really creepy. You know, sometimes I see this kind of stuff and I think, oh my goodness, that's the creepiest thing I've ever seen. But maybe she's a little creepy. She might be just a tinge creepy. But the rest of them are okay. She won't be going on anything that I make. But those were okay. And then also, like I said, I got the leftovers. You get Tim Holtz, I think it's called Big Chat. You get one sheet of phrase stickers, and then you get a jelly roll metallic pen. My gracious. The speaking in this video today might leave a lot to be desired. Forgive me and just go on with it. So I am just kind of improvising, and I've got some phrase stickers and then one of my Zig Wink of Stella metallic gold pens over here if I were to need it. So I took a peek at what Mom is making, and I try my best each month not to look if she gets her E-Club kit creation video made before me. I try my best not to look, but I did this time, and I want to kind of make, I'm not going to do as much collaging as she did for her journal cover, but I am going to make or attempt to make a mini journal. And I'm thinking I want to use this page here. And I know what you're thinking. This is a 6x6 pad. How are you, is it going to be a micro mini? What are you doing here, Melina? Well, I'll show you. So I'm going to use this as my cover, but then it's also going to have an extender on it. And I'm thinking that I want, which one was it? I already had it picked out in my head what I wanted to make as the extender. It wasn't that. Well, not that. It might be that green. I think it might be. Yep. Okay. So it's this green paper. Okay. So I'm going to, I want the postcard at the bottom. So that'll be spine-like. And then I'm going to fold it in half. Now, I know you say, you fold a 6x6 piece of cardstock in half and you get a 6x3 something that's so tiny. How are you ever going to use that in anything? Well, I mean, I could think of lots of things that I could use this in and make, like, what was it, 2 videos back where I made the ephemera pocket folder. I could do that totally with this, but I am going to put on some little extenders here like so, and I'm going to make this a 4x6 mini journal. So we're going to come down here. I'm going to make sure that I am in frame for you. So we are 6 tall. And I'm going to cut my green paper at 1.5. So I'm going to cut 2 strips at 1.5, and that's going to overlay some on this here by about 1/2 inch, and then it's going to extend out to 4 to give us a 4x6 cover. So I am going to get my cutter. And we are going to put it at the 1.5 inch mark. And then I'm going to turn it around because I want that patinaed edge look there. I want to use that edge. So let's do it one more time there. And I really, really push down on that guillotine trimmer entirely too hard. Whoops, I cut something too short. There I was talking while I was trying to cut. Okay, what have I done? I have cut this one too wide. That's what I've done. Let's see. 1.5, Melina. There we go. That gives me a little strip I might use for something over there. And put that up. And then, see, we're going to go ahead and put it down here on my grid paper. And then we're going to have it overlapped like this. And then I'm going to zigzag stitch down through there. That is my new favorite thing to do because I'm actually learning how to do that correctly. I'm still not a seamstress by any means. I'm still pretty bad at it, but I have learned how to let the sewing machine do its thing and just kind of hold it so it goes straight, but let the sewing machine do it instead of trying to manhandle it. So anyways, zigzag stitch has become one of my new favorite things to do. And I have lots of little, let me show you these, lots of little cut-off strips from tea-dyed paper that when I get time, which who knows when in the world that's going to be, but when I get time, I'm just going to go and do zigzag stitches on every one of them and just have, well, maybe not that one since it's like... why did I save that one? But these wider ones, and do some zigzag stitching down through there. Oh, I love that. I love that kind of, you know, just kind of stuff that would go in the garbage normally. I just love saving it and doing something with it and then adding it to something else. You know, I love my scrap busting projects. So that's going to be one of them. Now I am using my walnut stain ink to just ink around all the edges. I shouldn't have inked the very front edge since that's going to be covered up. That's going to be covered up, but I inked it anyway. Oh well. Okay, walnut stain, and then we are going to go ahead and glue that on. Nope, I'm going to use score tape, and I'm going to put it right at the edge here. Find my end. Right at the edge. I've had some people asking, oh, do you still Stamp It Up? No, I don't. But I love the grid paper. I'm going to have to start just covering that up. Not that I'm ashamed of them or anything. I love Stamp It Up's products. I just haven't bought anything other than grid paper in years from them. But I do love me some grid paper. And theirs is really the only one that I have found that holds up well. So I just continue to buy from them. And I only buy grid paper. So if you've heard me say that in another video, I apologize. But for those that still ask, they just missed it somewhere. So I'm just letting them know. All right, so I am lining this up on my grid paper, and then I am putting this lined up at the 4 mark. Okay, and then I'm turning it over, taking that off. And remember, I'm going to stitch down that, so it's okay if the glue doesn't go all the way to the edge. I want that there. And I'm lining that up again. And then lining it up there so that we have a 4" by 6" cover now. All right. So that is my front, because there's my little postie card I'm wanting down there. Excuse me. And then I'm thinking that I want to cut out this little darling down here with some of that, I don't know, maybe some of this paper as the back mat for it. I just love her, and she kind of goes with that since I've got that green on there. I just thought I would cut her out since I love cut apart paper. Thought that would go. Oh my gracious me, that is just darling. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm just going to ink around her. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little mat behind her of this, and then put her on there. And that's just going to be the most simple little cover, but it's just going to be darling to me. All right, so she is 2 1/16 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to cut this paper about 2 3/8. That's going to give me 1, 2. 1, 2, yep, 2, and then 1, 2, and so 2 3/8 by 3 1/2. 2 3/8. I'm gonna make me a little mark so that maybe I can make sure to get it lined up here. All right, and then walnut stain around that one. Okay, and then before I put her down there, I'm going to go ahead and zigzag stitch. But that's just going to be darling. I love that. And I'm thinking maybe, oh my, yep. Okay, and then on the inside, I'm thinking that I want to cover up this a little bit, just because I'm not the biggest fan of map paper. So I'm thinking I will do just a little strip, and that's going to reinforce the cover too. So I think I will do a 1 1/4 inch piece for each side of that. So 1 1/4 is there, and then one more 1 1/4, and then I'll just use up that paper, and I'm just going to ink it and line it up to cover. Oh yeah, I like that, to cover that matte paper. Okay, and I will just use my liquid glue to put these down. And I've decided I'm going to put another little piece down the middle where the spine closes, where the spine is, right in the middle, so that I can reinforce that. Since it's just one sheet of cardstock, I'm going to reinforce that. So I'm going to ink the edges of it, because after I put it in my signature, you'll still be able to see that some. So I'm going to ink the edges of it, and this is just to reinforce that spine, so that when we are opening it and closing it back and forth, we have some strength there, and our spine maybe hopefully doesn't start splitting. Okay, I've got it down the middle, and then I'm going to fold at my line on the outside. And why I put up my bone folder, I don't know. Oh, good. We're good. All right, so there is my middle and my 2 outer edges. I'm going to take this over. Oh, yeah, I've got really good strength right there on that spine now. So I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine. I'm going to do my zigzags on the front and back and be right back. All right, so I've got my stitching done. Is it the prettiest stitching in the world? Absolutely not. Is it totally nice and grungy like I like it? Absolutely, it is. So there is my stitching, and then I'm going to glue my little cut apart to the mat here. And this is going to be my little simple front vintagey decoration. I just adore that. That's just so pretty. To me, anyway. I'm going to put it down with score tape just because I'm going over stitching. And I would have to hold down this liquid glue for a long time if I just used it instead of my score tape. So let's just use it. All right. And then I'm going to figure out where exactly I want it. Does not have to be perfect or in the middle, but I'll try a little bit to get it close to there. So there's my little decoration for the front. And I could always add this if I wanted, but I really don't think I want to. I love it just as it is. So that was a very quick journal cover and front decoration. So now I have this stitching on the back that is not on this because I made this one a little bit shorter than this, but that is totally fine with me. I'm going to dirty up this front cover just a little bit because I like my grunge. So I'm just going to dirty that up some more with my walnut stain. Oh, yeah, I like that. Yep, pretty. So I'm going to make some, let's see, what do I want to do? Yep, I want to do belly bands. So I'm going to do a belly band here and have a belly band tuck on the front and back. So let's get some of that paper out of there and figure out, do I want ledger? I kind of like that. Yep, I like the ledger paper. Let's do that one. And just match them. If you don't want to match, you don't have to. So I have cut these at 1.5 inches and inked around the edges. And then I got the score tape and just put it at the top and bottom. So I'm ready to place it as my little belly bands. Okay, and then I'm going to go right over the top of that stitching. So I'm going to place it about at this edge is going to be at the 2 1/4 mark. So I'm just going to use that as my way to figure out where it needs to go. And take this off, and 2 1/4 mark is there. There we go. So I've got a belly band, front and back, ready. And I've got my journal cover, and I'm thinking I want to add some of these little, you know, I go back and forth and back and forth. What do I want to do now? What do I want to decorate now? These little champagne looking colored bling bits are so pretty. I'm thinking maybe let's do this one a little higher and then do this creamy, almost Dove bar looking. Anybody use Dove? Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. I love that. That reminds me of a Dove bar. And I'm talking about soap, not the chocolate. In case anybody was wondering that. I know you weren't. Okay. Oh, yes. I love that. Very pretty. Okay. So now I'm going to work on getting that signature done. And I will use a couple of sheets of this Ledger Digital that we got. I'm going to cut off the white edges, and then I will distress them pretty good. And then on the backs, I'm going to leave them, I'll distress them, but I'm going to leave them like that because when folded, I'm going to put some of these cut aparts and make some pockets and stuff. So I'm not too worried about that white back side that they have. So I'm going to cut the whites off and distress this. All right, so I cut my journal digitals down to 5.5 by 7 to fit inside my journal cover, and I did not ink. I will ink later, I guess. I wanted to get this together so I could show you. I've also cut some ledger paper. I've cut out some book page, and then I also have some tea stained notebook paper and copy paper that I'm going to add in there. So let's get it all. And some of them are the same length, that 5.5 by 7, and some of them are a little shorter. The book page is a little longer, but I'm thinking that when I put them in, I'm going to fold it over and give myself a little tuck in some of the pages. So I'm going to leave them long. And I think I want the ragged edge at the bottom. So what I do when I start to fill up the little signature is I just start layering my papers all together and just kind of figuring out if I like the layout, if I don't, if I do, what I want to change. I try not to make it all the same as far as which is next. I just try to do kind of willy-nilly when it comes to that. So just layering up more book page. I want book page in the middle. I want it at the middle. So I'm going to do some more notebook. I'm going to turn it this way. And then more ledger. The last of the notebook paper. And then one more book page. And then I'm going to get them set how I want. Yep. And then I'm going to get a large clippity clip after I knock everything out of my, there went my enormous scissors just falling. Okay, I'm going to get my clippity clip and put it on one edge before I fold. And then I'm going to fold over and just kind of meet in what looks like the middle. I'm not a stickler when it comes to my signatures as far as the pages being absolutely perfect, lined up. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pages. So then I'm going to put them in there just to look at them. Okay, so I'm going to have quite a few that I will be flipping over and making little tucks with. But I do believe that's good. I'm not going to, the height is good. I'll like it if some of them are sticking out just a little bit. But for those that are sticking out right now, I'm going to fold over and make little tucks. So we're good with that. I'm good with going ahead and stitching this in. Now, there are loads and loads and loads and loads of YouTube videos about stitching in signatures. I'm just going to do the standard 3 hole spine. I'm just lining it up and getting it attached to the actual cover, so I know where everything needs to go. Okay. And pushing back my papers and making sure everything is in that spine like it needs to be. And then I will just get my wax thread, my little foam platform, and my blunt needle. Yep, should be down in there. There it is. And then here is my awl, A-W-L. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. If you are a stickler for getting it exactly perfectly in the middle, then by all means measure and get that done. But I am not. I will not be today, because I want to get this done all in one video and show it to you. So there, yep, looks good to me. And you always want to hold it up when you are putting in your awl, because if you lay it flat, you're not going to get it right on the spine like I did here. Okay. And then you're just going to get some wax thread. Or, I mean, you can use crochet thread. You don't have to use wax thread. Wax thread just tends to go through and sew a little bit better than just regular like crochet thread or something. Okay, so down through the middle, and then up. And yes, you might have to tug and struggle a little bit. And then down to the bottom. And then back through the middle. And you're going to go on the opposite side of the one that's already in there, your other tail. There. Pull through. And then get your loose piece out. And then you're just going to pull until you've got a nice taut string on the outside. And I do not, so I need to pull on this more and pull here and pull up. Okay, that is better. And I am going to tie a knot and then tie a bow, and then we'll have our signature in, and then we will start decorating up our pages. Okay, I'm going to get all of this up. And start making page tucks and show you what I'm doing. All right, so I have went through, and on the pages that I knew would be longer than my cover, I just turned them in and put glue on the tops and bottoms and made little tucks like so. And then all of them, of course, I did not do that too, but it looks like little envelopes on the edges of these pages. I love that. So I'm just putting glue, just a little amount of glue on the outsides just to make tucks. And then this one is almost where I wouldn't have to, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway because I don't want anything to kind of stick out too far past my journal cover. So I'm just gluing at the tops and bottoms. I know that one's not. I know that one's not. This one is. So I will take it and turn it over and then just glue at the top and bottom there and hold down for a few seconds. And if you need to get your washcloth, whatever, and wipe off excess, go for it. And then this book page is definitely sticking out more, so turn that over. And this is a great way to use the whole page if you're putting it in your journal and not having, you don't have to cut off any of the edges, because that can get kind of tedious cutting off edges like that. So now we have this cute little journal with some wonky pearls. I need to fix that one. It's going to drive me crazy. Some wonky pearls on the front. And let's get that fixed there. I am having to video at night today. I usually video in the mornings when I have the house to myself, but I'm having to do it at night because of a scheduling conflict. So you will hear people in my house. And Bethany is playing a game of some kind with her cousin online and doing all kinds of giggling. So you will hear that. Now here is my signature, and I just think this is the prettiest ever. I love when it's all kinds of different papers and pages in a signature, not just one plain paper or one type of paper. I made these really short. This will just be for little bitty pieces of ephemera. That's your middle of the signature there. And then some white paper. And then look at all of those little folds. How pretty. I love that. Okay, so we're going to decorate up these pages. We're going to make some tucks to go in these belly bands. I'm loving this so far, and I love that it has not taken long at all to make this, put this together. I love little mini journals, and I love being able to make it out of something that maybe somebody says there's no way you can do a journal out of 6x6 paper. I've heard that before, and now I'm like, yeah, yes you can. So see, you have this little cut apart from the paper pad, and you can just stick it in there. This one is really shallow, so you could really stick it there. I love that. I think I want to put it, because that's a very pretty piece. I think I want to put it right there in that the middle of that signature. I am going to cut apart some more of this and add in there. And then we're going to make some larger journal cards to tuck in our belly bands back here. I really like that piece. That is a gorgeous cut apart piece. And it's already got the little rounded edges too. I love that. And then I think I will round the corners here too. That's very pretty. I like that. And just kind of tuck it willy-nilly through your journal. And then this was a piece from where I cut those belly bands, and I just folded it in half. And you could put something on the outside of it if you wanted to. You can just tuck it in like that. We can make some pockets and tuck them in there. However you would like to do it. Now, probably I would need to put this on one of the longer or wider pages. That works there. Okay. And then we can add some of these little washi stickers that we got in the kit. And I have found if you will just bend it backwards, you can see it starts separating from its back, from its backing. And then you can kind of get your little, either your scissors or something like that in between it, and it starts popping right off. But it does take a little bit of effort to get them off. They are not on a sheet. They're just individual, so sometimes the little tiny pieces take forever for you to get a good hold of it. Or as we say here in the South, get a hold of it. Okay. This beautiful little sticker I want to put here on this tea-stained paper. But I want it all to go on there. Very pretty. I love that one. And then this one, I saw this one. This one was another favorite of mine that I think I want to put here on the front of the signature. Beautiful. And y'all are gonna think I am cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or something, but these washi stickers smell amazing. It's like baby powder, or like a nice clean swimming pool. I don't know what that is. It's probably some kind of horrible chemical. I don't know. But they smell so good. And I'm thinking that I want to add another little stamp here, since this is the outside of my signature. I thought that would be good to add just a little bit of extra something. So I'm just going to flip that backwards, and then I can see it start to separate. So just kind of put my nail or something pointy in there and see it just kind of separates from it. There. Oh, squeaky, squeaky. Those do have a little bit of a sheen to them. All right, and then before I add things there, I'm thinking that I want to decorate a little bit. So I love this little strip of washi tape right here. So I want to get that off of there. And I want to put it on the edge of this ledger paper here. And then I should have enough left over to put a little smidgen on another page. I kind of went awry with that, didn't I? Let's see if I can peel it back just a little bit and get that a little straighter. There we go. That looks better. And then trim off that excess. Oh yeah, I like that. I love washi on the edge, edges of pages. That's just pretty. I like that. And then maybe add the rest of that there, just kind of as a little accent. And this other little die cut here. And ink the edges of that. And then I'm thinking I want to add it kind of like a little tab. But where, oh where do I want to add it? Maybe here on this one. Oh yeah, that's pretty. And see, it's got a decorative back to it, so it's okay that it goes over the edge of the page. Just kind of add that there. And just remember, don't staple or do anything like that to this, because you've got that tuck that you're going to be using here, so you don't want to close that up unless you want to close up just a little bit more of it so you can get some smaller stuff. And that's what I am going to do with this one. I'm going to get myself a little bit more glue if it will decide to come out and not make a huge mess. But it did come out in a big glob, so I might need to get my glue stick out to finish that so I don't get handfuls of glue everywhere. All right, so there is some more little decoration. I think we need to go ahead and make a little pocket to go here, and we can use some of our cardstock that we got in the kit. And I'm going to make a little cut right there so I'll know where I need to cut that, and then maybe about here. And I'm going to ink the edges of it and do a little collage on the front. And then make myself a little notch. And then ink all around. And then I'm going to get my glue. I really need to get my little precision tip out for these, so I'm not getting that big globs of glue everywhere. I can't stand that. Cannot stand when I do that. Now I've got this big glob of glue, and I'm not going to be able to get as much in my pocket because of that big glob of glue. So I'll push it over some and push it down, and then take off some of it. And then I think I will get a little bit of paper from over here, and then a little bit of coffee dyed paper that I had left over from making these pages. These were the little smaller cut-offs. That is a pretty piece of coffee dyed paper right there. And maybe a little bit of this blue grid paper to add there. Let's get that off and that point off of there. Add that, and then do a little stamped piece. That is pretty. Okay. And get all of that inked. And then get it put down. And that page is in quite crooked, so that's why the pocket looks a little crooked on that page too. A lot crooked. Anyway, it is in there and good. I'm going to just fold this up and add it to that little pocket there. And so there's one of our little pockets. We've got some things in tucks here and there. And then we've got some pages trying to stick together. Okay. So I'm going to add some more pockets to these white pages later on, but I was just going to show you that's how I'm planning on doing that. And if I were to ink these edges some, that would dirty it up enough so it's not just so stark white. But now if you wanted it not to be even this white, then you could always ink all over the white before you put your pockets down, but I'm okay with that. There's our little center. And then I'm going to let some of these pages dry before I start adding any more anything. I need to get my little adhesive eraser. If you do not have one of these little bad boys, you need it. We have these in the shop. And if you have adhesive somewhere where you don't want adhesive, it takes it right off for you. I love, 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 love mine. Okay, yep, some of these are still sticking together. So I'm going to get some pockets added to those in a minute. Let's get our journal cards for these belly bands done. I really like that. I just love how it's all different. That just makes me happy. That makes me happy right there. But all the papers are not exactly the same. I love those little postcards. I'm going to tear one of these out because I'm going to cut these apart and add them onto the pages too. Let's see. I think maybe this one. We'll make a journal card out of that one, and then this one. I like that. And since these are double-sided papers, you don't really have to do much to the back if you don't want to. I am actually going to, let's see, I think this will need to be, it will need to be smaller than that. Now, as far as height, we're pretty good, so let's get, let's see where we are there. That would be 5 inches. So we're going to do 5-inch tall pieces. And then we are going to do, how wide is that? So our journal cards need to be 5 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to cut those. Five inches tall by 3 1/4 wide. Let's look at that and see before we cut that back one if we are satisfied with that size. Yes, we are. That is pretty. I like that. Okay, and then let's do this one for the back here. We're going to have ledger behind ledger, but I'm okay with that. Okay, cut off that end. So I need it 5 inches tall by 3 1/4 wide. Make sure that it fits good. Now we've got stitching back behind this, so that's why I'm getting a little bit of resistance. That kind of looks like a little library card, and I love that. Okay, and I'm thinking I will add some torn coffee or tea stain paper. I'm going to put this out of the way for just a minute, and I'm going to get some tea stain paper going on this and get it torn like I want it. Yep, I like that. And then ink the edges of this a little bit and really get it looking like some old parchment style paper. This is my front, and I want to round the corners and then ink with my walnut stain. And I want that as my front, so I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to use a glue stick because I just really don't like how, ooh, and do I want to? That's a beautiful piece. Oh, well, I'm going to use glue stick because I really don't like how liquid glue puckers my coffee and tea dyed papers. So I'm going to use glue stick, and then I'll come back in and add just a little bit of liquid glue here and there if I need it. I'm going to scoot this over some. There, there. And I'm good with it not being perfect as far as where it needs to go on the journal card because, I mean, does not have to be perfect, and who is going to journal that much literally on a small journal card? So it doesn't have to be perfectly squared up. Man, I did a horrible job at glue sticking. Okay, there's that one. And I could do a little bit of collaging on the outside just to give it a little bit of a little bit more character. Ink that. And maybe some tea stain paper on the outside too. And I'm thinking I want to add one of these buttons so that it can be like a little bit of a pull for it when you have it in there, but I don't want it to mess with my papers, but I don't really think it will. So if I do one of these dark ones like that, that's pretty. And I think I'm going to put that on. Ugh, I've got some paper on my foot that needs to be in the garbage can. think if I put it on with some glue dots, we will be good to go. I'm just going to put it on the one edge and not on the edge that's going to stick off. I'm going to have it kind of sticking off there. Oh yeah, we're good. And then you've got a little pull for your journal card. I like that. Yay. I love being able to make something out of something tiny. 6x6 paper pads can be a challenge sometimes, but I really like being able to make something out of it. I am going to go ahead and off camera make my journal card for back here. I'm going to decorate a little bit more on my pages, and then I will be back to show you the final flip through of my mini journal that I made with the August E-Club kit. All right, y'all, so I finished it. I put some lace on the outside of it and just tied the bow, and I've got it where I can just slide it on and off, so there is no having to untie the bow every time you want to look through your journal. And we've got that beautiful little cover, simple cover that I just adore. I love that little girl image. I think I love it because it's kind of like sepia, but then they colored it in. It's just a very cute little image. So if you slide the ribbon off, and that's lace ribbon that I tea stained in my last tea staining session of papers. I've pulled you in just a little bit so that you can see up close a little bit better, because you know we are dealing with a 4x6 journal here. But I want you to look at this. Look how thick and chunky this little journal is. And you know, other than tea stain papers, just like copy papers and ledger papers and book pages that I had laying around the house, the rest of this is from the August E-Club kit. So here we go. You open it up and you have the belly band there and that journal card. And then that belly band just slips right back in. The little button's just there to kind of help you pull it out in and out. I put some stamps there that all of this was in the kit itself. On this page, the back of this page, remember that was that white backed ledger paper, the digital that we got in the kit. I made this little booklet from the cardstock and made a little collage on the outside of it. And when you open it up, there is tea stain paper that folds out. So you have a flip down for lots of journaling there on that pretty much first page of your signature. One of the vintage photo cutouts on that book page, and then this little tuck has some of the cardstock from the paper pad and just a little snippet of tea stain paper in that. One of the other little stamps, well, one of the other little stamps there, the washi stamps on that tea stain paper. And then there is that ledger printable that I just kind of tore and tri-folded. Just a cutout piece from the paper pad there. And I left that side blank for journaling. This I left blank, but just put that washi tape. Y'all saw me do that. Then here is a pocket on the back of that ledger digital, and I just used that. You'll have, if you've got the E-Club kit, you had a metallic jelly roll pen. I just got out my Wink of Stella because, like I said, I've got the leftovers of a kit, not all of the products from one kit. So anyways, I didn't get one of the metallic pens, markers, so I just used what I had in my stash, and I made some doodles around this, put a piece of the cardstock from the paper pad there. And I'm thinking I might want to add a little bit of washi to that because it is a little plain looking. Now, I've used most all of this strip of washi, and showing you that you can tear it just like you do regular washi. So if you didn't want to use the entire strip, which that looks a lot like it, but it gives a little bit of different character to it. I can't really put too much more dimension in this little chunky thing because it is full. So there's a little pocket with some of the digital I just tri-folded. And next page is some more tea-dyed with some ledger paper that I just folded up and put in there with a little piece of washi. Book page with that tuck, and it's got like a 4-fold piece of tea stain paper in it. And then this ledger paper just has some washi down the edge of it, plenty of room for writing. Put one of those cutouts on that one side. This beautiful tea stain paper, I didn't want to cover any of that up, so I just left it as is. And in the tuck, I just put this little silly thing. It's just a pretty, there's really no, not really anything you could do with it as far as writing or anything, but you could always take it out if you had some kind of secret writing you wanted to do and write it back there and then cover it up with that. Another book page, and it has a tuck and it's stuck. Just a little flip out from the paper pad, and then a piece of folded up tea stain paper. And then this other tuck here, I put some washi, and then it just has a little flip out from the cardstock that you get in the kit. One of those beautiful stamps, washi stamps there. And then on this side of this journal digital, I have a trifold flip out there. And that has lots of room for journaling. And then I just put a piece of washi down the side of that. And then one of those other washi stickers there. And this is one of those very narrow pages from close to the middle. So I just did some trifold ledger in there so it wouldn't be too bulky. And then here is the middle of our signature. I'll show you there. And then on this side of that book page, I have one of the cut aparts and some ledger paper, and I just glued the one edge to that to give it a little flip out. And on this side, it's a cut apart and some folded up tea stained notebook paper. Very simple. And it is very junkish in here, and so I love that. The little cut apart postcards, just have 3 of them in this next tuck with one of the stamps that we got. And then I just left that plain, so if you want to journal on that, here's the pocket that I made on camera with y'all and did the little collage at the bottom. And then that's just a piece of cardstock from the paper pad folded up, and I inked around the edges of that one. One of those lovely washi tape stickers, and on this one I left it pretty plain, put a couple of pieces of washi tape and then one of those flowers that I got, and I just tucked it in there. I thought that was very cute. And I might want to tuck it closer to the top because I've got a lot of stuff going on at the bottom, so it might stay a little bit better toward the top. And then a little stamp there and some more of those little postcards and cut aparts from the paper. Plenty of room to decorate more on if we wanted to, or add some regular paper so that we could journal on. And then in this little tuck, I have some more of the cardstock papers, and I just tri-folded it and put a little pull from torn paper there at the top of that and tucked it in that one. And I left that plain because I just love the look that tea stain paper got. Here's some more of that ledger paper, and I put one of those stamps on the edge, so very simple. And on the back, another cut apart, very simple on that page. And then here is the little back side of a book page that has the tuck. I put a pull kind of accent there, and then just folded up some tea stain paper and put in there. And then the back side of that book page, that tea stain paper was just too pretty to cover up in my opinion, so I didn't. On either side, look at that, cute. This is a very busy pocket page. This is the back side of one of the digitals, and I put a pocket on the bottom, and then to kind of dress it up on top, I put some more of the paper, just the back side of this paper up there. And then this is my extra little washi stamps, and I put in that pocket there. I left that plain and this one plain for lots of journaling if you wanted to. Same on the back side of that ledger paper. The next tuck has a little tiny booklet that I made with just some of the cardstock and leftover ledger digital, and a little collage on the outside of that. And then left that as is, and that book page is the only one in the entire book that does not have a tuck on the side of it, so I left that plain there. But then on the back side, got some of the cut aparts and just lined them up there, and you should feel this. It has a really great feel there on the edge with those cut aparts glued to the edge of that page. And then this is the last ledger digital, and I dirtied it up really good with the walnut stain and put a pocket there with just a couple of the cut apart pictures in that one. And then the last page, just another cut apart picture. And then our back cover has that belly band with the button on the edge that helps you pull it out. And there is that journal card. And then just tuck it back in there. And then she's kind of peeking out from that belly band once you close up the book. I thought that was very cute. So anyway, big, fat, chunky meanie monkey. I love how this turned out. I think this is probably my most favorite creation I have made with an E-Club kit by far, which I've loved most everything, pretty much everything that I've made with an E-Club kit, but I think this is by far my favorite thing ever that I've made with one. I love how chunky it is. I love that we only had 6x6 paper and we made this. This is great. So if you got the August E-Club kit, you need to make you a mini junk journal. And I know that you've got papers laying around the house that you could stain with tea, coffee, whatever you have in the house. No need to go and buy inks to stain papers. And you could make yourself a little 4x6 junk journal also. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. And thanks for watching till the end. And I'll have you a few little still shots at the end also after I'm done. And y'all have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.